Welcome to Newsline Mediaverse, and you are watching On Point. And the reason why today we have taken a medical issue is because a news broke the net. Generally, you will not find the issues of health actually trending on the net. But a young model, 32-year-old actor Poonam Pandey, lost her life due to cervical cancer. The news was communicated on Instagram by her own team. But then, since she was a high-profile figure, it led to a lot of chatter on the net on the issue of cervical cancer, on which Nirmala Sitharaman, India's finance minister, spoke on the budget. I have decided to take up this conversation not because, as reported, a famous actor, Poonam Pandey, has died, but the issue she actually picked up. Her team, in informing that she lost her life because of this disease. It not only highlights the menace of this cancer, where 1/3 of all global cervical deaths happen in this country, but it also tells us there is lack of awareness, and the government of India has now made the vaccine free, which at any center would cost you 4,000, but there is no awareness. No awareness. It is detected, and if it is detected and screened early, it can be cured, but the screening and the right treatments aren't accessible to most women. Many women don't talk about it, many men don't talk about it because it's a women's problem. What is cervical cancer? How does it happen? What are the symptoms? Why has Government of India made it a mission? It has to be a reason why Nirmala Sitharaman has taken up this issue. So, well, this story may have started from Poonam Pandey, and there's a controversy also about it, that the family cannot be located, the house is closed. Some people have said, it's a publicity stunt, but I will not go into it. But what the news of a death has done, the news of a death which is being reported through our own Instagram account, is that people are talking about it. So I have decided to just talk about the issue and not the actor, with due respect. So, what is cervical cancer? How does it happen? On this, I am joined by Dr. Manoj Sharma, former in charge of Department of Oncology, Delhi State Cancer, and Dr. Bindya Gupta, Professor, Department of Gynecology, Guru Tegh Bahadur Hospital. Let me straight away go to Dr. Bindya Gupta, and then I'll come to Dr. Sharma. What are the symptoms of this cancer? And how come India's finance minister had to actually speak about it, to push for it? And can I say that it has become a national problem that has to be addressed like from a top-down approach?
Yes, a very good evening. You are absolutely right. Today we have heard a very, very sad news that a young model, 32 years old, a girl has died of cervical cancer. It is a very, very sad thing which has happened today. And answering to your question, so as we know, cervical cancer is the cancer of the uterine mouth, or we call it the cervix. So it is a big public health problem in our country. It is the second most common cancer after breast cancer, which is affecting India. And the most important part is that it is a preventable cancer. Why am I saying preventable? Because we know the cause of the cancer, that it is caused by a human papilloma virus. And we have a vaccine to fight against that virus, which is causing the cancer. And also we also have the tests to screen the disease, to pick it up early, and to fight against it and treat it early in the precancerous stage. So that is why it is a very preventable cancer. And let me tell you, in 2020, WHO had given a call for action for elimination of cervical cancer by 2030 by its 90-70-90 initiative, in which they said that 90% of the girls should be vaccinated between the 9 to 14 years of age group. 70% should be treated with the precancerous lesions. They should be diagnosed, they should be screened, and then 90% should undergo treatment for these precancerous and the and the cervical cancer.
Okay. Now
So
let me.
why
Okay, I'll come to you, and then I'll come to you, madam, again. But before that, let me play out the bite of Nirmala Sitharaman, the finance minister, when she made that statement on the floor of the House, when she said that it's going to be the mission of the government.
Cervical cancer vaccination. Our government will encourage vaccination for girls in the age group of 9 to 14 years for prevention of cervical cancer.
And before I go to Dr. Sharma, let me again clarify to our viewers that the death of the actor Poonam Pandey, as informed through her own Instagram account by her own publicist, made it into a national issue. People have contested that, the families cannot be contacted. That's a different story. I am not going to get into that story. That's not important. I intend to go to the story, an issue which has taken precedence over the actor's early demise, as stated through her Instagram, and something which finance minister spoke about. So, Dr. Sharma, a lot of people even don't know the symptoms of the disease. Can you take us through the symptoms of the disease? And a lot of people even confuse it with the cervical. And I'm not kidding that there are people who thought earlier that this has to do with the cervical and not what the disease is all about.
Kartikeya, let me first clear that Mrs. Sitharaman doesn't know that who is the real culprit. The victim is a female and the culprit is a male. So in Australia, they have recommended vaccination for male and female both. So let us make it very clear that don't focus at the vaccination of females only. The same age group, boys should also be vaccinated, because the lifestyles at the present in India, if you see the school statistics, is very, very devastating and it's very worrisome. So number one. Number two, the second thing is the symptomatology. Once I was, I have been writing books of preventive cancer awareness. So once I was writing, my mother, your grandmother, said that beta, vaginal discharge to har female mein hota hai. That means there is a natural discharge also. So the first symptom is the vaginal discharge, which most of the women ignore, number one. Second symptom which may happen, and I would say the disease has gone little too far, but it's still curable, is the postcoital bleeding, that the bleeding which happens during and after intercourse. And here I will insist that there is a role of awareness of the female as well as the male partner, because it is then, if it is concealed at that point of time, and if it is considered that, it was a coital trauma because of it has bled, then again there is a delay. Number three, the problem is, I'm not going to the late stage symptoms which are horrifying, and if those symptoms have happened, then disease is already too late, and sometimes it becomes incurable, like difficulty in passing stools, like burning micturition and difficulty in passing urine, intermenstrual bleeding we call, that means when the bleed happens in between the menstrual cycles also, anemia and things like that, backache and all. So the awareness part is very important, and it is intriguing that this is not for the first time an actress has suffered. You remember one was the famous program where our Shilpa Shetty got the first prize. There also there was a female who suffered, and there was a lot of uproar about the cervical cancers. 70,000 women die every year as per the National Cancer Registry project, which has got only 40% or 50% of access of all the cancer data in this country. So first of all, if you are really serious about it, if government is serious about it, if Mrs. Sitharaman is serious about it, then they should declare cancer as a notifiable disease. Because once cancer is declared as a notifiable disease, the message will go to Anganwadi worker, message will go to the primary health center, the screening programs will start there with the symptoms, and the one by one patient will be referred to the primary health center, then the hospital and the tertiary health center, care center for the treatment. This is number one. This is very important, and I have been insisting it for last almost 15 years to declare cancer as a notifiable disease, and I succeeded in getting it done in the state of Kerala with the state with 100% literacy. Second thing about screening, both parties are responsible, patient as well as the doctors. Why can't we start opportunistic screening? Screening in India is very difficult. You start cancer campaign or screening programs, people won't come. They are scared कि कहीं cancer declare हो गया तो हे भगवान क्या होगा. So we are producing children. This country is producing children. Lot of women are going to the hospital for deliveries and all. At least at that point of time, we can screen these women. And the screening is possible by very simple methods and little, I will say, labor intensive.
Sir, can I just stop you for a minute? I want to ask this question. Because, women's health has not been the focus. Let me go to Dr. Bindya Gupta. Has not been focused when it came to medicine in late medieval Europe. When the medical renaissance took place, man's body was at the center of medical exploration, not a woman's body. It's a stated fact in terms of exploring it for sciences, in terms of medicine, it was the man's body. So, women's body was not there. In this context, I would like to ask you, there are certain diseases which families don't want to talk about, like breast cancer or vaginal cancer. These are considered to be private issues. How do you break that? It's not sensitizing women. How can men also be sensitized that, this is something which needs to be taken seriously, If it's a conversation happening in house, he can at least push his wife to go to the doctor.
Exactly, sir. So it is a very sad situation that even in the modern times today, women are taking a back seat. Women themselves ignore their health. They think family is first. So they come to us very late, only when things really are getting out of their hands. So late presentation is a big problem with the females. They think that first they should feed the family, and then it comes their turn to eat something. So it's like nutrition is a priority for them, but for the family, and then it comes to their number. First they have to feed their children, then they look after their nutrition. First they look after the problems of the family, and then it comes to them later. Also, as you've said that it's a male-dominated society. Whatever we say, we are in the modern times. It's always the males are getting the priority. Till today, the women, they want boys. They are still not very happy with having girls when they bear children. So, to break this barrier, the important is we have to generate awareness. Like Dr. Sharma said, we have to just make people aware of this thing, that something which is so preventable, a cancer, it's the first of this kind cancer, including head and neck cancers, which we know the etiology, and we can prevent that cancer, which is unheard of, which is like a cancer is something which people think, okay, now we are going to die. But this is a preventable cancer. So we have to generate awareness. And generating awareness is through various means. We have to have a partnership. There are so many NGOs. There are so many other public health forums. We have to just go and make the people aware. Go to the schools, spread awareness in the boys and the girls. Let the children go back to their parents. Let them tell what information they have got in the school. Let them disseminate these information. So it's just the awareness will help to break the barriers. Okay. And like what Sir said, that opportunistic screening, women, they come to the hospitals for various other reasons, not only discharge or anything, but they come for other reasons, like not having babies, or they are pregnant, or they come for some other medical illnesses like blood pressure and anything. We need to start opportunistic screening, catch hold of all these women who come to the hospital and screen them. That's very important. And also we can have various things like a mother-daughter program, mother getting screened, daughter getting vaccinated. So these programs can only propagate awareness has to be generated, and then only we can break a barrier in this. So we as doctors, we have a very big responsibility that not only we are treating, but we are spreading the awareness for prevention. And also, I have myself have through various NGOs and through my hospital also directly have gone through various these private organizations, have delivered awareness lectures to their staff, to the public, to their children. I've gone to various schools also. So this is how we have to disseminate knowledge. And I'm very, very happy that, government has taken it as a center stage, have taken this initiative of fighting this cancer by vaccination, by spreading awareness, and they have taken it as a very important agenda for health.
Okay.
So this is
okay. Let me go across to Dr. Sharma again. Sir, why are the cases of cervical cancer high in India? Is there anything specific to India?
There are so many reasons. You see, before the advent of your vaccination and vaccine, there are a lot of researches have been done, and the Center of Excellence, the Cancer Institute, Adyar, Chennai, where I was working, they did a lot of surveys, and they found illiteracy, early marriage, poverty, malnutrition, and moreover, illiteracy directly connected to the gynecological health, and in gynecological health comes the vaginal health, the cervical health. So that is why, if you see the program of giving sanitary pads, we hope breast cancer has become first very recently, but at least 20 years back, cervical cancer was the first cancer. And still we are getting a lot of cancer. So number one, the illiteracy is one. Second thing is mainly the worry is about late stage presentation. And that is what I reiterate, that can only be prevented if we declare cancer as a notifiable disease. One more thing I want to tell you, Karthikeya, that these human papilloma virus, they change themselves very quickly and they don't speak to each other. We came with the monovalent vaccine, then it became bivalent vaccine, then it became quadrivalent vaccine. And I was attending a conference in Melbourne or in Milano. It is nonavalent vaccine. Then I do not know how many valent vaccines are going to be there. And I also don't know, our Honorable Finance Minister is talking of which valent vaccine. So it is very important that alongside the vaccination, we should also focus on the researches which were done earlier before the advent of vaccine. And in that, one of the important thing is vaginal hygiene, the age of marriage, the barrier contraception. I have been doing male sexual analysis.
But how do you take these issues to, I won't even use the word rural India, even urban spaces, cities are conservative, It's difficult to talk these issues, even do programs on such issues, because, these are considered to be private spaces. Well, how do you deal with?
No, you give us more time on television, on Doordarshan. I have managed it. One of the directors said, Dr. Sharma, we are in a deluge of cancer, morning cancer, afternoon cancer. And will you believe, at that point of time, I used to get crowds of cancers by patients with my OPD. At least next 15 days, there will be patients coming for inquiry, for early detection, and even treatment for their vaginal or problematic things. So you have to give me more time on your media. Call consultants, call specialists. They will tell why there is no health program, abundance of health program on media. Number one.
But
number
at least
two,
you can, at least, at least, Dr. Sharma, this has sparked off
cancer education program.
At least it has sparked off a conversation, Today, for whatever reason it is, I really don't want to get into it because, there is a media, then there is a social media, and then, the dirt comes with it. But the larger issue is the problem that has been given a space in the mainstream narrative, which is cervical cancer. I know I'm falling short of time. So last 1 minute for you, sir. and last 1 minute for her. What does this nation do to fight cancers, cervical cancer?
First of all, the health has to be included in school curriculum, number one. Number two, there has to be more awareness. There should be a comprehensive checkup for a female, which should include the gynecological area, the breast area, the gallbladder area, and the ovarian area, because ovarian cancers are also increasing in number. So this is very important, and government should provide us more vaccine with more valencies and make cancer as a notifiable disease.
Notifiable disease. Notifiable disease. Dr. Gupta, I think that's a very important point. Dr. Gupta, I'm falling short of time. 1 minute to you. I think the big takeaway from Dr. Sharma is make it a notifiable disease.
Yes, include HPV vaccination in the universal immunization schedule. That's very important. 9 to 14, include it in the national immunization schedule. Make it cheaper, make it, it was promised 400 rupees, make it cheaper, include it in the immunization schedule and make it mandatory. Include preventive checkup of cervical cancer screening at in the insurance. When people apply for medical insurance, they get the ECG, blood pressure and all done. Make cervical cancer screening mandatory for that also. So it's very important, and obviously, it's, as Sir said, generate awareness, do public-private partnership in generating awareness, involve NGOs, involve the government bodies. But what I will say is make it mandatory and make HPV vaccination in the universal immunization schedule of the country. That's important.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you, both of you. So, you know, in this latter part or the latter edition of 1 Point, the reason why I decided to take up the issue of cervical cancer is because, as Dr. Sharma rightly pointed out, people don't go to hospitals at the right time, lest they get detected with cancer. It affects the entire, I would say, the financial cycle of the house. So, the people don't take the early warnings very seriously. But the fact of the matter is that this has become part of the national mission. There will be multiple views on it, multiple doctors, multiple experts will have their position on how to go ahead with cervical cancer. But I think for any healthy nation, the health of the woman or women's health for a healthy nation is mandatory. That's all on 1 Point today. Thank you very much. I'll be back again next week.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है मनी9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
Why is the state not looking at putting an embargo on that?
As a Telangana person, I will not accept.
How do ordinary folks deal with this?
There's a new video around what deepfake can do.
We have seen a trailer of this a few days back.
Rumors should not be only on the platform.
We'll have to wait and see how those play out.
Hindenburg's report cannot be taken as gospel of truth.
Bangalore traffic is an example of something that has gone wrong with our system.
We have more than 50 flyovers in Bangalore city. If flyover is a solution to traffic problem, Bangalore should not have traffic problem.
According to TomTom Traffic Index 2022, Bangalore is ranked as the second worst city in the world when it comes to traffic.
The speed limit at the ORR is 80 kilometers per hour, but our vehicle has only moved 10 kilometers per hour.
What Bangalore needs is a surgery, but what we have been offered repeatedly are band-aids.
only on the world's first news OTT. News 9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
Currently, the industry is facing a lot of challenges as far as demand is concerned. Basically, the US markets has slowed down because of high inflation.
So obviously, diamonds being a dream product, something which doesn't have a utility value or is seen as a luxury. So that obviously goes off your shopping list. That's the first item that will go off your shopping list, especially in recessionary trends.
That lab-grown diamonds are not mined, and they do away with the entire mining. So they save up on all the environmental damage that is associated with mining, and of course, the mining cost, which is why they're even more affordable.
People that is impacted by all these recessions are the artisans, are the people who work in this industry, right? But I think lab-grown diamond has allowed them to actually use their skills in the same product.
This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus. Download now.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
A defiant performance by Ten Hag's men. Now standing at 7 feet 4 inches, Satnam Singh is making his way into professional wrestling.
We are getting more good news for India.